maybe all this violence, this looting, and these protests and all these things that are going down, maybe this is destroying your city. Maybe that is an overcorrection. But this is what happens when nobody fucking listens, and now you finally get the world's attention.
Yeah.
You keep on doing what is going to keep that attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine you broke one store and everybody's like, we hear you now. Are you done? And they're like, okay, we're hurt. No, it's like, I'm going to keep on doing this shit until I'm hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Facts.
Well, yeah. What I'm concerned about is how that they're going to spin this. And I guarantee the media will spin this into a race war, not a war of the people versus authority. And the way they'll spin it to the race war is these militias will go start to protect the property, and they will create them as one gang, and then they'll create the protesters as another gang, and they'll only highlight the black and brown people in those protests. They'll leave the white people out of those protests. They'll make it look way less diverse, and they'll have these fucking gangs. It's going to look like some shit out of gangs in New York or something like that. And that's how they're going to drive the fucking wedge in, man. I know it. I feel it.
That's what you think. I'm thinking that they want the rioting to continue and even get worse, possibly, so then they can declare martial law.
What would be the benefit of martial law?
Trump can do whatever the fuck he wants to do, and probably postpone the election if he felt like it.
Ooh.
Postponing the election is interesting because what I was thinking is he wants 4 more years.
Yeah, and right now, with Corona and with his tweets, it's not looking good for him.
That's interesting. Mark, what are the conspiracy theorists saying? What is your theory?
I don't necessarily have like a nailed down theory, but I've heard people say, like, resonate that statement. Like, people even pointed to on, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, the guardhouse outside the White House. Like, they have like a guard building where like people have to come in and out if they're going to the White House. Got burned down. Like, the whole thing got like torched.
Whoa.
And some people are like, wow, these protesters are really going crazy. You know, they're burning down the guardhouse. And other people are like, how did they get close enough to burn down the guardhouse? And then people are drawing connections to like when the Reichstag burned down in Germany before Hitler like usurped power. So now like there's like this weird like power thing where it's like basically the Reichstag burned down and Hitler was like, oh, it's these it's these crazy like fringe groups that are trying to destroy our country and burn down our capital. So he's like, you need someone that's going to take over and take control. And then he slowly like gained power that way.
So you think Trump could use this as a potential way of maintaining power outside of the democratic process?
I don't know if he's got the juice. I don't know if he's got the juice, but
Americans are some crazy motherfuckers.
He's talking like it though.
I don't know if he's got the juice, but
he's like, oh, if I can't deal with it, then I'll send the military in there who can.
There has been a historical precedent for that. Some people even say Hitler burned down the Reichstag himself.
He probably did.
Like he sent like the SS in to burn it down. He was like, look at these crazy people burning down the
Yeah, I thought that's what you were saying this whole time.
Yeah, but like that's not official record.
Right.
Some people say it's a false flag. Some people say it's not. But regardless, he got power from it.
Do we feel, okay, that's the most extreme version of it. Do we feel like it is in the best interests of some group, I don't know which fucking group, that these protests continue? Like, I feel like they're doing everything they can to drag these protests out.
I mean, there's a situation where all sides can benefit from it.
Okay, go.
So, like, if Trump's able to enact a martial law thing and he's able to, like, have more control over the government and sort of suppress the democratic process by enacting, like, by taking sort of, like, extraordinary powers and as president, then, like, he would benefit from the protest. And then, like, the Democrats would benefit from the protest because it shows that Trump's in complete disarray and he can't control himself, and they know that he's going to keep on fucking up. So then, when it's election time, he's going to be out. Like, the anarchists are loving it because
they just like chaos.
They like chaos. Like the grungy white kids that like go to Warped Tour and shit. Like they want to just destroy shit.
Yeah, there's an interesting thing. We were having this conversation about this could. Let's say the Democrats are the ones stretching this out. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, right? Why would they do it? We were talking about this yesterday. Like, here's the thing. Trump was on the verge I think on the verge to really get a lot of the black vote. Biden had just fucked up on the Breakfast Club big time, and he wasn't really remorseful or accountable for fucking up. He was kind of like blaming Charlamagne. Like in interviews, he was going, he was being a wise guy and I was returning in kind. Mm-hmm. Charlamagne wasn't really being a wise guy. Yeah. Like, you fucked up, fam.
He's halfway apologized and also tried to put it on Charlamagne.
Charlamagne. So it was like a little both. So what I was told is that Trump and his the people that are ahead of his Black Initiative were putting together an economic empowerment plan for Black people. And that was the time to drop it, right? Literally last week. Democrats are in this position where Black people are not very happy with Democrats, don't feel like Democrats have done that much to, further the progress of Black people. They have a huge fuck up from Biden. Biden hasn't said anything eloquent in 3 years. Huge fuck up from Biden. Trump has the has the possibility to jump in and snag some of that Black vote. I'm not saying Democrats started this. I'm not saying they amplified or took advantage of. Hypothetically speaking, if they did, it would be a brilliant move. Because Trump's policy is he has to appeal to the base on all national stories. Mm-hmm. If it's not a national story, if it's prison reform, as long as prison reform isn't a national story, have Kim Kardashian come to the White House, free some Black people from jail. It's not a national story. It doesn't matter. His base doesn't care. But the second something becomes a national story, he's not the leader for everyone. Mm-hmm. He's the leader for his base.
That's interesting.
And he's done it every single time, right? Charlottesville, national story. Before, right? It was like, there's actually good people on both sides. Some people say that taking out of contact doesn't really matter. Whatever it is, hordes of Mexicans coming through in a caravan, they're going to kill everybody, blah, blah, blah. National news story leans into the base. He's not the leader for everybody. He's the leader for his base. So let's say the Democrats made this as crazy as possible. Let's say they're leaving piles of bricks just around these protests for no reason. Mark was walking in Williamsburg. You just saw a pile of bricks in front of a building. Yeah. Who the fuck is just leaving bricks in front of buildings? I
was out there with like a group of kids that were looting. Cops are peacefully following them,
letting them
not interrupting them at all. I just lost track of time. I was probably with them for like 2 hours. They were just going around the city, breaking glass, knocking over garbage cans, burning some garbage, and then they move on to the next spot. And cops were just following them, making sure probably buildings didn't get burned, but just letting them be.
You didn't do nothing?
I mean,
no.
Well, Jake Paul ass just hanging out.
So what's interesting is, let's say the Democrats strategically made Trump play his card. They go, if we make a national news story out of this, especially the looting, Trump's going to have to appeal to his base on this. How is he going to appeal to his base? What does his base want?
Oh, they want
order.
Trump. Yeah, bring the hammer down.
Bring the hammer down. Order. Bring the hammer down can be positioned as if he doesn't have any empathy for George Floyd and the black plight in America. Yeah. You can't service black people if you're essentially punishing them for protesting for their own rights.
Yeah.
If you looting, we shooting.
If you looting, we shooting. He came out with it. He tried to appeal to blacks with a rhyme, but I don't know if that shit worked. All of a sudden, black people gravitate back to the Democratic Party because they're thugs. Calls them thugs. I can't support that dude. I'm gonna have to ride with these Democrats, even though Biden is incoherent. It is a little conspiratorial, but is it reasonable?
Yeah,
I think so. And additionally, reading through, like, there's all these articles specifically in 2020 why like the black vote is so important. Like, all this stuff was published in like February, March. Like, people are suggesting that's more important this election than ever.
Why is that?
Because it's more up for grabs?
More for grabs. It's like not as locked in. Like, the two parties are struggling to like lock in black and Latino voters just in general. Grabs. Ever since, wait, what?
You just said more up for grabs 3 times, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm blacking out.
It's more up for grabs. Like, there's more votes to be had. You know what I mean? Like, people aren't sure who to vote for.
Well, that way every person has a different version that they can understand. But yeah, it's I think it's just like less locked in.
I would honestly, I respect if that's a chess move by the Democrats. That's the first good chess move Democrats have played in fucking.
It's just so hard with Biden, yo. I mean, his fucking advice to cops. Did you see this yesterday? I haven't.
Son, don't shoot unarmed people in the heart. Shoot them in the leg or arm. Unarmed.
What?
Unarmed.
He said that?
Yes.
Oh, shit, this guy is
Don't shoot them in the heart. Shoot them in the arm or leg.
If you are the Democrats and you're doing this brilliant chess move, you also got to get a vice president that you want to take over for this motherfucker. You can get him out of there somehow.
It's funny. I was telling Mark yesterday. I'm like, this is Biden's time to be out in front of every camera, speaking up. And now it's like, matter of fact, maybe you just need to shut the fuck up. So,
was it you? We were talking about. Who were we talking about this yesterday? What? We were talking about the Trump's power is in his live performances, in his.
Oh yeah, in the rallies.
In the rallies. Was that you?
No, we were talking to Raul.
Yeah, Raul was bringing this good point. Shouts to Raul. our homie from Mexico, man, and he was like, they've been quarantined from America forever. Stay home. Shelter in place. No, but he was like, Trump's power on the campaign trail is the rally.
Yeah.
And if you, let's say you're the Democrats, if you try to exaggerate the severity of Corona for as long as possible and make it so people cannot come together, he cannot hold a fucking rally. And if he cannot hold a rally, that severely affects his electability, because Mark was saying this yesterday. It sounds crazy to us, but motherfuckers go to a Trump rally on some, I don't know if I'm for him or not, and then leave there convinced